What's up, everybody? Savage Brandon here, bringing you the next installment in my reality check series. For those of you who don't know, it is a series where I take a topic that's a little more on the serious side and kind of talk about it, give my views on it, give the public opinion, the popular opinion, all that kind of jazz. And today I wanted to talk about Generation Me, as it's called, which is my generation. And the generation of people that are a little bit younger than me, maybe a little bit older. I don't know. I think I'm on the beginning of Generation Me. I don't know for sure, but it's seen as the enlightened generation, the generation who everyone has to have a trophy, everyone has to get an award at some point, and excuse me. And I just wanted to talk about that a little bit and why I don't believe that's true, and why I think that the generation above us, especially like the baby boomer generation, why they really blow that out of proportion. So first I want to talk about something that they always talk about, which is that we're moving back in with our parents, and that we're not contributing to the economy by buying homes and such, and that we're doing that later, and how that affects us. So let me talk about why. So the graph that you see probably doesn't make that much sense, but let me kind of describe what it is. It's a student loan graph, and what it shows is the explosion of student loan debt. It's gone up 275%. I want to say in the past 8 years, I believe it was, that the study was talking about, that it went up 275%. And it's since 2003. It's gone up 275%. That's ridiculous. No wonder we're moving back in with their parents and not buying homes. We don't have the money to afford homes. I know I can't afford a home with what I'm making and what I'm paying for school. I don't have the money for it. And as terrible as that sounds, and as much as I wish it wasn't that way, even while working a job, I just don't have the money for it, and it's difficult. It just makes things a little harder for everyone involved. And and let me pop something else up on your screen really quick that helps hammer this point home. This is from a different article, so I'm not just grabbing all of my sources from one article. These are two different articles that both reach the same conclusion, that student loan has really, really gone up. That's why we're not, that's why it's so difficult for us to do things. I also heard a quote, and I really want to use it. It said, all my life I was taught to be better than flipping burgers, to go to college so that I wouldn't have to flip burgers. And then now I'm being criticized for it being beneath my college education. And that is completely true. Like, I'm working at Yankee Candle right now, and what I hear from, like my parents and even my boss sometimes is, get a college education so you can do something other than Yankee Candle. And I want to say it's true. What I'm making now is great. I'm not at all unhappy with what I'm making, or of course I wish I was making more, but I think that's everybody. I'm not, incredibly unhappy. I just, I want to be making more later in life, whenever it does come down to it, whenever I reach my career. I want it to be in something that I love and something that I want. Now, the biggest point that they have against my generation, I'm even going to say tentatively our generation, because a lot of people who watch my videos are my age. One thing they have against us, look at that, I just kill myself. One thing they have against us is they say that we all need trophies, we need awards, that's where the entire generation, everyone had to have a trophy. And let me talk a little bit about that. So this whole everyone needing a trophy thing really gets on my nerves, and the main reason is because when I was little, I didn't ask for a trophy. I didn't expect a trophy. I didn't, I wouldn't say I didn't want a trophy. I mean, I probably wanted one, but I didn't have to have one. My biggest thing was, it was given to me. And who decided that it was given to me? Not us, not our generation. No, instead the generation above us, the baby boomers, decided that we needed trophies. Of course it's what we came to expect. Wouldn't you? If someone came in every day and gave you a cookie, you would expect them to give you a cookie the next time you saw them. It's Pavlov's dog is the experiment that kind of proved that. Where Pavlov, every time that he rang a bell, he would feed his dogs, and so after a while, when he rang his bell, it would cause his dogs to salivate. And it's called classical conditioning. And basically what it is you learn to associate one thing with another. So let's say I do something, let's just take soccer as a soccer player. Let's say I'm on a soccer team for the local YMCA. I expect a trophy at the end of the year, because they always give trophies out. They give trophies to everybody. because we participated. We all had fun and we all did well. It's not our fault that we came to expect trophies. It's their fault. They shouldn't have conditioned us to where we feel like not necessarily a trophy deserve, but where we expect a trophy. If you don't want someone to expect something, then don't always give it to them, I guess is my thing. The next topic that I really want to touch on is tech. Our generation gets, told time and time again that, you don't need all this technology, like, oh, they're so glued to their phones and their iPads. I'm sorry, which generation is most responsible for the credit card debt that we're in? Which generation uses credit cards and debit cards more than any other generation? That's right, the baby boomers. They do. Where did we learn it from? Them. Do they like their credit cards and debit cards? Yes, they do, because then they don't have to carry cash around. Why do they like their debit cards and credit cards? One, they're allowed to buy more. Two, it's easier to keep track of. That's great. Guess where that happens? Electronically. So of course we're glued to our iPads and our phones. We're still being taught that. That's like the teacher teaching you that it's 1, 2, 4, 3, or in kindergarten, and then when you go to the next grade, it being you saying 1, 2, 4, 3, because that's how you learned it, and then them being like, wow, I cannot believe you just said that. This is entirely your fault. Okay, yeah, sure, whatever. Totally our fault that we're glued to technology when then that's all the jobs that there are. That's where the entire world market is headed, is into technology. There are entire towns that have turned their economy around because they've thrown themselves at technology pretty much. My own town, they got a Google and an Apple plant that came in, and both of those things are high tech. We had a lot of skilled factory workers already because we were here for the textile industry, the furniture making industry as well. And when those things left and went overseas, we were left with nothing. So we really worked hard to get Google and Apple to come here. And when they came here, we already had the skilled workers that were able to work in the technology industries. But that being said, Google and Apple really influence our local economy, and their tech-based industries. Excuse me, that was a little bit of a tongue twister. And keeping this in mind, of course we're going to need technology. We need technology, first of all. Glued to it, I don't know if I would say glued to it in the same sense as could never get off of it. There are people who are glued to their devices, but these are select few. I know I play video games a lot. I've got my phone, my tablet. I do not have an iPad. Don't like iPads. I love my Surface tablet. The Surface 2 just came out, and I will be acquiring that as quickly as possible. But that's besides the point. Back to my main topic of tech. That's how I keep up with things. I don't. The newspaper, let's say, comes out once a day. I mean, I still read the newspaper. I read our local newspaper and our school newspaper and things like that. But if I need to know something, I get on the internet. I go to the great god Google, and I get my research from there. Even in an academia world where books are still dominant, like books, there's a lot of research. Professors love seeing books on papers. I go to Google Scholars and I find articles and journals about the topic that I'm looking for, or I go to what's it called, ESBO Host or something like that, and it's got a ton of articles on it, and that's what I use for my research. If I'm not doing the research myself, that's what I use, and it's really helped me out in school, and I know it's helped a lot of my friends. It's not possible now. I know I get research papers a week before they're due, or 2 weeks. I can go to a library and do it, sure, but with a full-time job, basically, being a double major, wanting to have a social life, the world moves faster, and we needed technology to speed up with it, and we needed a generation to speed up and use technology, and that's where this generation comes in. That's where Generation Me comes in. So let me just define what Generation Me is really quick. The age ranges, basically the dates that you have to be born to be in Generation Me real quickly. So from what I've found and from what I know, the entitled generation or Generation Y is often ranged from 1977 to about through 2001. So all those quote-unquote 90s kids, as they like to call themselves. I barely call myself a 90s kid because I was born 1994, but around that range is when you're looking at. But I'll leave all of my articles that I found in the description below, and if you guys will leave a like and a comment, tell me what you think. Do you think that we're an entitled generation, that we have caused this, or that it has been thrust upon us? Anyway, guys, I've been Savage Bernie. Peace out.